A lot of IELTS candidates fall into two opposite traps when they write. Some write with no plan at all and hope ideas will appear as they go. Others memorize a rigid template that they try to force onto every question. Both approaches cause problems. In this lesson, I'm going to show you a flexible paragraph plan in which every sentence has a clear job. You'll be able to adapt it to any Task 2 question. The overall structure is simple: 4 paragraphs, an introduction, 2 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. This structure works for all 5 question types: opinion, discussion, problem or solution, advantage, disadvantage, and 2-part questions. What changes is what you put inside each paragraph, not the basic frame. Let's start with the introduction. Your introduction usually has 1 or 2 sentences, and it does 2 things. First, it introduces the topic, not by repeating the question mechanically, but by giving a natural, interesting background. Second, it gives your thesis statement, a clear answer to the question, and a preview of the 2 main ideas you will develop in the body paragraphs. For example, in the sick leave essay, the topic is modern employment and benefits. A mechanical introduction might simply paraphrase the question and say, "This essay will discuss," which examiners find boring and unnatural. Instead, you can open with a more engaging background sentence about the gig economy and casualize work, and then follow it with a thesis that states your opinion and your 2 reasons. So your introduction feels like real communication, not a template. Now let's look at the body paragraphs, which is where most of your marks come from. Each body paragraph should focus on 1 main idea from your thesis. If your thesis promises that you will talk about benefits for staff and benefits for companies, then body paragraph 1 is about staff and body paragraph 2 is about companies. This clear mapping helps your task response and your coherence. Inside each body paragraph, we use a simple pattern of 3 to 5 sentences. The first sentence is the topic sentence, which introduces the main idea of the paragraph in a simple, clear way. The next sentences are supporting sentences, which develop that idea through arguments, reasons, examples, and explanations. A typical pattern is topic sentence, argument 1, support for argument 1, argument 2, support for argument 2. The key here is that each sentence has a job. The topic sentence tells the reader what this paragraph is about. The argument sentences bring in specific points. The support sentences explain or illustrate those points using cause and effect, conditionals, concession, or examples. You are not just adding more sentences, you are building deeper meaning around one central idea. As you write these sentences, you also consciously vary your grammar. Topic sentences and arguments are often simple or compound sentences because they introduce ideas clearly. Support sentences are a good place to use complex or compound complex structures because you are showing relationships between ideas. For example, you might start with a simple claim like, "Falling ill can be a stressful time for anyone," and then support it with a longer conditional sentence that explains how sick pay reduces financial difficulty and stress-related complications. This is exactly what examiners want to see: variety with purpose. The conclusion brings everything together. It is usually 1 or 2 sentences. In the first sentence, you restate your overall opinion or main answer to the question, often in slightly stronger, more personal language. In the second sentence, you can offer a recommendation, prediction, or final thought, except in pure problem-solution essays, where you may already have given solutions in detail. The tone of the conclusion is slightly more personal, as if you are giving your final verdict after considering the arguments. A common mistake is simply repeating the introduction or listing the topics again with no new insight. Instead, think of the conclusion as the place where you say, "Having weighed these arguments, this is clearly what I believe should happen," or "This is the action that governments or individuals now need to take." That makes your essay feel complete. When you combine this system paragraph plan with your binary planning technique, planning becomes very efficient. You first decide your 2 main binary ideas for body 1 and body 2. Then for each paragraph, you plan 1 topic sentence and 2 arguments. When you start writing, you already know the job of every sentence. Introduce, argue, support, round off. This reduces stress and gives you more mental space for grammar and vocabulary. In the next lessons, we'll focus on the grammar that sits inside these sentences. You'll see how simple, compound, complex, and compound complex structures work, and how they connect directly to the higher band scores for grammar. If you haven't already, download the coursebook through the link below. It expands on this lesson and will guide you through the other videos.